Good morning and welcome to your Daily Sparks. You know, across the centuries, when the leader of a nation has enforced unjust laws, most of those in power have been, in certain situations, have willingly conformed, but there is always a few who have conscientiously, registered a protest about this. We've seen it not too long ago with the big protests in Canberra. There is a place for a righteous protest. And although these people have tended to suffer accusations and attacks by the people who for one reason or another have hated them, or a group that resents them, in the end their cause has frequently prevailed. Now, you might suspect I'm talking about right now. I'm not. You might suspect I'm talking specifically about the Nazi Germany or the US South in the 1950s and 60s, but I'm not. I'm talking, in fact, about Babylon. King Nebuchadnezzar created a monstrous image on the plains of Dura, and he commanded everybody, when the music played, for them to bow down and worship. And everybody did, except three young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When these three faithful Jewish men refused to bow down to the idol, others noticed their disobedience, reported it to the king, and they were punished by being thrown into the fiery furnace. After they refused a second time to bow down to the king, they were thrown into the furnace. However, God was with them, delivering them miraculously in the midst of their fiery trial. It says this: they trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. It says in one of the verses there, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who knew a much higher authority than Nebuchadnezzar, stood against injustice, even when it meant putting their own lives at stake. Now, astonishingly, the king was able to peer into the fiery furnace and see a fourth figure. Many scholars believe that this is a pre-incarnate visitation of Jesus Christ himself, that the fourth one in there, he said, look, he's like the sons of the God. Well, he was close. He is the Son of God who was in the fire with them. And later, Jesus would die at the hands of evil men who were abusing their God-given authority. But still, he trusted himself to the one who judges justly. Jesus was vindicated. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were vindicated. And further evidence, we don't need any further evidence that God will vindicate those who trust him. We need to make a stand in this nation, not angrily, not aggressively, not violently, but we need to stand for what is right and true. And God, in the end, will vindicate us. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow on Sparks.